Not sure how clear this is going to come out, but there are mosquitoes that want to eat us for breakfast, like all in between our tent and our vestibule. Oh man, a little nervous about putting on my shoes this morning and getting my body out of the tent. But it is a beautiful morning.
Good morning on day 101. It's a big number for days on trail. We are going to do 20 miles at the most, and that'll get us into Connecticut and be able to get a box that our grandparents sent us that has our new shirts and pants for my mom and my sister, and the mosquitoes are everywhere. And so, let's go.
We're the Six Pack Hikers.
Good morning. It's a nice, cool 70 at 6:45 in the morning. We got out of camp just a few minutes early. We might start getting up like 5 and trying to roll out at 6 if the heat continues. But anyhow, we are making our way through a marshy area. Tunes just hit a plant and all this pollen came off. So I might be sneezing in a minute. But we're making our way through a marsh, heading down to meet Ken and Sue eventually to drop off our packs. They've got some breakfast ready. We are so incredibly grateful for their generosity and support. Ken thru hiked in 2020 and had a lot of support from the trail community, specifically Iceman towards the end, big time, and he's paying it forward, and we look forward to having the opportunity to pay it forward as well in the coming years. We've got some thoughts, so excited to support others on their journey in the future. We got Sue and Ken this morning cooking up sausage and egg, biscuits. We had some orange juice. Now our packs are here. We're loading up slack packs. Yeah. What do you think? We're gonna make it to Kent or stop short?
I don't know.
It's hard to say, right? We are about 6 miles into our day, making our way to yet another water source. The first few that we came across were really not good. Barely flowing or just essentially like a bog. So we had another source pretty soon, hoping that it's moving more. We really want to splash water on our faces and chug the water that we've got in our bottles and then refill. So here's the hoping. We're at the Wiley shelter, and we did find a water source a minute ago, didn't we?
We put some very cold water on our face, which felt really good. And when we started moving, we were making some wind, and so it cooled my face down pretty fast.
Yeah, we're hot again.
We should start doing that again.
Yeah. Ooh, look at this bug net pushed back. What a look. What did we have? Like a mile, something like a mile down to Ken and Sue, and they've got some cold drinks at Hoyt Road. And then we have another 7-ish to get to where we're going to camp tonight. 7?
I think
it's
9.
More than that.
I think it's 9.
My bad. I think it's 9. Whoops. She thinks it's 9. I think she's right. We'll check in later about that. But we've got a little ways yet to go to camp. Might meet them for a meal later, and then set up camp and try to get cool. One of the hardest things last night about falling asleep was you're making a face.
So hot.
Oh, it was so hot. It was still like 80, almost 80 degrees at 8 o'clock. And so we were trying to lay very still in our tents and cool off, but there was no air moving. That was tough. It eventually did cool off in the middle of the night to like 67 or something. But anyway, we're figuring this hot thing out. Bridge is out. They strung a rope across the water. Thankfully, it's not very high at all, so the rope is more for fun.
Glad we crossed it now instead of after the rain.
True. Way to go. Oh my goodness.
Abby, that's too big. Here's the next
Cookie
one.
bars and brownies. One of each.
The brownies are really good.
Dive in.
We tried to come.
Oh my goodness. Done with New York.
We're leaving Connecticut.
Nope, we are
Have a
going
safe
in.
hike.
What do you think, guys?
There we go. Number 9 is done.
I'm not done yet.
State number 9.
5 more to go.
Now you're in Connecticut. Yes. So long, New York, Connecticut. We are officially here. Found some new flowers. Right by a water source. Climbing up 10-mile hill right now. It's only a mile up, but quite steep. We've got just shy of 4 miles to meet up with Ken and Sue again and eat lunch, hopefully around 1 o'clock. And then I think, I'm not sure, we might be getting our packs back there and hiking the remainder of our day, or we might push past to Kent and try to find somewhere to stay there and get our bags back at the end of the day. But either way, it's nice and warm, muggy, but we got to drink a bunch of cold drinks, which was amazing. Enjoyed some fellowship with Ken and Sue. So I'm gonna stop panting and get back to climbing. Energizer, highs and lows of New Jersey. We are way behind.
My high for New Jersey would be the Steelies. I'm really thankful that they slacked us and
fed us some awesome food.
yes ma'am. And then my low would be the rain.
Tunes, highs and lows of New Jersey.
My high would be the mile boardwalk that we got to do, and it was really pretty when we were on it and got to go through all the marshes with all the flowers and birds. The red-winged blackbirds were really pretty. And then my low would be Stairway to Heaven, climbing out. That was so hard. And just seeing the trail way up with just a ton of rock stairs.
That was a steep one. Sunshine, your highs and lows of New Jersey.
My high was the beef stroganoff we got to eat with Miss Dawn and Mr. Ned. It was delicious. And then my low would be hoping the rocks would stop in New Jersey and they continued through like half of it.
That was an unpleasant surprise, but we've been in some pretty chill trail lately, haven't we?
Yes,
So it does eventually chill out.
It does.
Nice. Serenity, highs and lows of New Jersey.
My high of New Jersey would probably be seeing our first bear, because even in hiking at home, we had never seen a bear on trail before. So that was cool, and it left us alone. So
Yeah.
it was a cool encounter seeing one. Also destroying Treehouse's newt record Very fun with our 122 newts. And then low would probably be the day where the rain was supposed to stop at noon and it ended up going to like 6:30. So that was no fun.
All right, Beacon, your highs and lows of New Jersey.
New Jersey was pretty nice. There were some views that we were not expecting. So that was a high. Meeting the Sealies, all the blessings they brought to us. The surprise slack pack from Stan the Man and getting to meet Sue and Sparks on trail. Like a lot of cool interactions with people on trail. And you got your haircut. That was definitely a high. That was awesome. As far as lows, Serenity mentioned the rain that never ended. The children are they're miming what I'm supposed to say. They want me to mention, and it's true. My seasonal allergies flared up majorly in New Jersey. I think it was walking through all the fields we walked through one day, and we were joking that the newt record could be surpassed by my sneeze record. But I think we're kind of past that. Been sneezing a little today, but nothing too bad.
Awesome.
Remy, highs and lows of New Jersey.
Highs and lows of New Jersey. I think mine would be, I'd say the high would be walking along the nature preserves and through the boardwalks were pretty neat and peaceful. And definitely the end of the Pennsylvania Rocks in New Jersey at High Point. A low, I'm having a hard time coming up with a low for New Jersey. But I think definitely another high was getting my haircut by Beacon in the hotel, like she already mentioned. But yeah, I think getting through the grind and realizing New Jersey was starting to grind and wishing we were a little further along at that point mentally was a hard time too.
Back for more. All right, highs and lows of New York, Serenity.
In the city, when we got to see our Hamilton on Broadway, that was amazing. I really enjoyed that. And lows of New York, we had our hottest day on trail so far. 90 degrees. It was humid and sticky and gross. So hoping the weather will cool down once we get to Vermont.
Highs and lows of New York.
My high would definitely be getting to go to the very top of the Freedom Tower. That was amazing. And seeing a Broadway. That was my thing in New York. We got to see Hamilton. Oh!
Very
It
cool.
was awesome. Then my low would be, there was this section, I don't remember exactly where we were climbing, but we kept turning the corner and rock just went straight up. And we just see the little blazes getting smaller. We're like, ah!
Yeah, there were some challenging rock climbs.
There were.
Highs and lows of New York.
My high of New York would be going to the M&M store. That was really
in New
fun
York
for me,
City?
and
Yep.
seeing all the different kinds and all the different colors. And my low would be all the big slabs of rock that never seemed to end.
Especially when they were wet. Oh, yes. Highs and lows of New York, Energizer.
In New York City, my highs would definitely be Hamilton, the M&M store, and going to the top of the Freedom Tower. Amazing view from up there. And then my other high would be Belleville Creamery. And I don't have a low.
No lows, so New York was just all thumbs up for you.
Well, the past few days have been really hot.
Okay, that's fair.
Continuing on with highs and lows of New York.
All right, so the trip to New York City obviously was a high. The kids have listed out a lot of elements of that. Wonderful trip. So glad we were able to make it happen for our family. As far as trail side highs, the northern portion of trail in New York has been much smoother, a lot cruisier, easier treadway, and it hasn't been raining. Has been hot, so that's the low. I think my one low would be the heat, especially last night when it was so hard to cool off to go to bed. It was still like 78 to 80 degrees when we were trying to settle down for bed at 8 p.m. Very difficult to cool off when there's no air moving, so that was tough. But yeah, New York's been good. Highs and lows of New York, Remy.
Yep. The highs are definitely going to be, I don't want to repeat what the kids have already said about New York City. We've created many memories there. But my highs are going to be seeing the stomping grounds of a childhood area that my coworker grew up in around Canopus Lake. Getting to send some pictures to him was pretty neat. And then being able to help Brew recover his phone on trail was just a God moment that I will never forget. You know, just that needle in a haystack, you know, finding a phone on a trail in a 3.5 5-mile stretch. You know, didn't expect it. Low is going to be the humidity ramping into high gear. I can remember leaving fresh ground and him saying, just know the summer days are coming when you take off wet clothes and you put them back on in the morning. We are there.
Oh, it was really cool to meet Anne and Laura, also known as Mama Bear and Velcro. Anne, or Mama Bear, follows our channel. It was so cool. Got to chat a little bit. We might actually see Velcro further up trail. She's doing a shakedown for the long trail in Vermont. And she's going to be hiking, I think she said north to south. So we might actually catch her when we are in Vermont. So now it's time to close in on PTL and Navigator, our buddies Ken and Sue, for lunch, some cold drinks. Then we got to figure out if we can push to Kent before the post office closes. We shall see. How was your lunch?
Delicious.
Peppers and sausage,
Kim, you can't forget Energizer.
cold
but I keep
drinks,
calling him by his real name.
cookies, and millipede friends.
So Lord, I pray in the tough times when that mountain is so high, when it is so hot, when the bugs are ridiculous, when the rain is thumping down on them, Lord, that you would remind them that they get to do this together as a family, Lord.
Delicious lunch, great time of fellowship, met some new faces. Thank you, Sue B and Suzanne, for the treats, and thank you PTL and Navigator, of course, for the delicious food. We've got our packs back, have about a 7.3 mile hike to the shelter. First up is Schaghticoke Mountain, which is about a 1 mile climb. Then we'll be ridge walking for a little while with some ups and downs, but nothing too crazy. And then down to the Argo shelter, or Algo?
Algo.
The Algo shelter for tonight. Hoping to beat the storms. We are 1.5 miles up this 2 mile climb up Schaghticoke. Whew, I don't know if you can tell. Definitely see how red my face is. I don't know if you can see how much sweat is running down it. It is so humid, but we are like 0.6 from the top. So closing in, and then we don't have any climbs this long for the rest of today. So eager to get to the top. We're about 0.2 shy from the summit. I got this nice view. What is it, Energizer?
A bear print.
What? Wow.
We're tracking a bear.
Oh my goodness. There was a bear through here not too long ago.
I hope he eats mosquitoes.
Oh, that would be brilliant if that was the case.
2 hours, 10 seconds, and it's an overweight bear.
Oh, you can tell all of the information from
Exactly.
the park.
From, you know how deep it is?
Genius. Finally got some fully bloomed mountain laurel. We've been chasing the buds all the way up the eastern coast, but here in Connecticut, at least for right now, we've got blooming mountain laurel. It's beautiful. We just finished our last climb of the day. Did not video much at all through there. That was tough. We work hard to keep our channel positive, but I will say that section was really difficult for all 6 of us for different reasons. A big factor is the heat. It's just so hot and humid. It's hard to stay cool. We have enough water and all that, but it's just difficult. And then the climbs were steep and rocky up and then steep and rocky down. And the mosquitoes have been relentless. So if we try to stop to take a break, they just all descend. So mentally that was a difficult few miles. Some tears were shed, but we are on the other side now. We've got half a mile down to where we're gonna camp. We're gonna set up tents, dive in, and take a break from the bugs. Get water, drink until we can't drink anymore. Eat some snacks and just cool off and calm our bodies down and rest. It's gonna be really good.
We are all set up at camp for the night. I got tent over there, tent with the kids in the middle, and then Sally Ann and I are over here. But the sky looking a little unfriendly. We hear thunder rumbling in the distance, but according to radar, it should be pretty quick moving. So we're thankful we got to camp and set up before it started raining. We're all resting in the tents. The water's filtered. And we're going to take care of the rest of the chores, hopefully after the storm passes. So fingers crossed.
So proud of our group for getting to camp. We've set up our tents. We haven't set up the inside yet, but there's a thunderstorm rolling in and everybody is inside a tent, free from mosquitoes. It's gotten very dark very quickly. It's only like 6 o'clock, so you can tell that the storm has rolled in. So once it's passed, it's only supposed to be here for about an hour and a half. We're gonna get out and probably have some dinner together, hang our food and all the things we need to do before bed. But so proud of those kids for pushing through really uncomfortable conditions. With the storm rolling in, the air temperature has gotten so much cooler, so we're all cooled off and feeling so much better. So praise God for that.
So we made it to camp and got our tent set up before the thunderstorm started.
Luckily.
So, waiting it out, hoping it won't last too long. We've got water coming under our vestibules and getting our bags wet, but so far we're dry on the inside mostly, and we're just really hoping it'll leave. We did 19.9 miles today to make it to the whatever shelter we're at.
I don't even
Algo
know.
something. I don't know. But we're camped at the shelter about 0.3 out of Kent, which is a town close to us, and we'll be meeting Mr. Ken and Miss Sue, or PTL and Navigator, tomorrow morning for breakfast, and hopefully the rain will give us a break so we can dry out our stuff.